Hello, nobody, because people don't show up at streams instantly. How are things? This is mostly for people that watch the stream later, when it's not live. How are you doing, person that's watching later? It is I, Peerless Drew, once again to show you robots. How's things? So today we are discussing Big Spring. And then I suppose in a bit of an unusual departure, maybe we'll have a live boxing as opposed to an unboxing, because I got to ship this back to MaxMox, who very kindly loaned it to me. But we'll go over some of the details of transforming it. This thing did not have instructions, and no one online seemed to really know the ins and outs of it, so I just had to figure it out based on, there's a joint here. Why is there a joint here? What's the purpose of this joint? Put the head away the best I could. I figure that's put away. Who can say? But first we'll go from vehicle mode to helicopter mode. Switching between the two vehicle modes is actually pretty intuitive, pretty straightforward, which is a pretty big departure from how the other Springers work, where you have to kind of take them completely apart to get them transformed. But we just bring these boom segments back. You'll notice that when you open them, they just kind of naturally expose this additional winglet. But of course that winglet can be put away. But just one of the easiest ways to pull it out is just kind of fold it back and then fold it back. You end up with the winglet. As best I can tell, these two pieces are supposed to be like this in both modes. And there's a bit of a slider, these attached to these, and there's a slider associated with that, and then these attached to the body, and there's a slider there too. So when you go to helicopter mode, you're just squeezing these together, and you see it kind of slides in both places. So it ends up really flush like that when you're done. There's a bit of a burr there. It does fit into like a tab area. It's very confusing. I don't know why anyone would make a figure and then not. They do kind of tab in right there, so they sit flush. Anyway, and then the booms go together. And Max himself asked me about how I got them to sit together so cleanly, and I wasn't aware there was an issue with that. But I mean, the main trick is to get these two segments to slide in towards the center. And then, I don't know, it tabs together pretty well. There's a little bit of a gap there, so maybe that's what he's talking about. But, I don't know, didn't strike me as too bad. I'm kind of seeing what he meant now, though. So maybe it was just luck. Maybe that's how I got them to sit together. When we transform to the helicopter mode, we also have to kind of make this cockpit narrower. This is a pretty clever bit of engineering. One of the easiest ways to get this center tab of the cockpit started is just kind of push on this hinge that you can see underneath, and that gets it started. And then you have to flip this. I find that if I flip this all the way up and then flip the other segment, so you see there's two segments there. So just, going in this direction, it helps to kind of get this all the way up like this before you start folding the top segment. And in reverse, of course, we fold it kind of straight up, and then the camera keeps autofocusing. It's driving me nuts, so you'll bear with me for a second while I turn off the autofocus. Good Lord. Focus. Let's just try it at 12. All right. Good. Max Mox is in the chat with us. I've arrived. Hi. He's one big spring. What's going on? Jobby has a good transformation. Okay, I didn't check Jobby. Although I heard someone mention Jobby was the one that flipped out and broke his Devil Savior split, but I think that someone was getting the name wrong. Copperhead kind of cursed, so I guess they held that. Sorry, buddy. All right, let's be a little less edgy. What's your favorite transformable figure of all time? Oh, that's easy. That's shit. What's the name of it? Somebody knows. Somebody watching already knows what my favorite transforming figure of all time is, and they can say it's the G Creation Ultra Maximus, which is the IDW Optimus Prime. That's my favorite one. So when you push these two together, you just have to make sure that there's clearance for it, because there's like a piece here that'll get in the way. I got a preview in my way. Okay. Sorry. Now everyone's nauseated. But there's like a piece that'll kind of get in the way. It just helps to make sure that that's out of the way before you compress these two together. And for some reason, they don't want to slide at all, so I'm just going to figure that out for a second. Why? What the hell? Why would this be stuck? Oh, I see. Cute. So you have to make sure you don't put this too far down, because it'll get right in the way of it. So, good to know. Never ran into that till just now. Anyway, so then the cockpit goes back exactly where it was, except now it's narrower. That's kind of fun. We untab the arms, and we zigzag those out. And these sliders have 3 positions. One is way up front, and then you can even see there's like 2 indents right there for the second, and then a little bit further down is the 3rd position. The middle position is for the helicopter mode. So you just slide these down until you reach the first click. But don't go to the second click, then you'll just be pushing against the legs. Alright, so these flip out. They're just on little zigzags. And it helps to flip out this sort of cover. They gave you like a finger grab for it. A nail grab. But you just flip them out. And then you turn these sideways and fold them over on themselves. And they tab in, which is nice. Make sure this is aligned. All right. And then, while everything is still out of the way, maybe like that, we need to flip around these things. There's trim pieces. So I fold these out 90 degrees. I knock shit over on my desk. That's an important step. And then you rotate this around about 180. And then there's a bit of a trick here, because if you go to fold these in, there's a tab and a slot there. But if you go to fold them in, they'll kind of collide with these gray leg components. So not really featured in the video is the fact that you have to kind of untab those a little bit and spread them out, and then you can get this. And it sits at a slight angle, so it sits up like that. And we'll do the other side since we got both legs untabbed at the moment. And then we can retab the legs. And then this bit, and this is only for helicopter mode, but this flips around underneath to make it a little narrower. And you just have to make sure these two sort of octagon-shaped joints actually flip properly, and make sure that they line up and tab. But it's made out of a nylon plastic, so it's pretty sturdy. I don't think they'd ever get stress fractures, but you do have to kind of force them around. And then you can compress these parts, and then the whole thing tabs in. And now we're going to use, there was a lower tab that was used for the arm plugged in for the vehicle mode, but now this other tab is going to go into the upper slot when we compress this. We compress this one, and then we can flip out these arms. And I watched one reviewer, maybe it was MGO or something, but or Ben's Collectibles, but he was talking about like turning the hands around between modes, and there is zero need to turn the hands around. So he was very much mistaken about that, but I don't have any information whether anyone else is confused on that point. But then you got vehicle mode, or the not vehicle. There's 3 modes, aren't there? one of the vehicle modes, the helicopter. And then this fits in here. It's not quite as robust. It flops around, so even in the stop motion of this rotating, it kind of wobbled around. But it's pretty clever because it's just kind of its own. I can see it scraping the paint off of this eventually, though. But there's like a little clip in there that's grabbing the ridge and letting you spin. So it spins pretty good. I'll put this back to... because we are going to head on to robot mode now. So we're going to put the landing struts away, whatever the hell they are. We're going to bring this back out. We are going to flip these things around again. Sometimes hard to get a grip on them, but they flip around and go there. Sorry, it's I turned up the contrast or the saturation a little bit on the video, so maybe it's a little too contrasty for this shades of yellow and green that this thing has. This flips around, and you put these parts away. And we're getting ready for robot mode at this point. I'm just going to leave those out of the way for now, because it's just the arms at that point. So we separate these, and we can put away the fins. And just a note for going back to vehicle mode, you just want to get in here and just kind of push these out. So your goal is to push them out and let them slide against here, and then keep these together for vehicle mode at least. But that's that. And then we're going to separate these. We can flip up these flaps, fold them, and put them back away. They're just to kind of finish off, and it's to leave space for the robot mode's articulation. Let's see what's going on in the comments, because we had a little madness. Good one. Well, Creston, you're here now, so that's good. I'm just reading notes real quick, sorry. Yeah, you said you were sorry, and it's okay. I forgive you. All right, kids, here we go. So this has, when you go to vehicle modes, this kind of tabs in there to kind of lock it in. And then these two things actually peg and tab together in one spot. So you just have to make sure it's lined up when you go to tab it together. But for going back to robot mode, we're going to get those untabbed. And we're just going to start, getting the legs and hips out. Now what you want to do is stop halfway and put away this this jet intake. It only really has clearance to go away halfway, and you don't want it out for robot mode because it'll get in the way of the hips. But now we get to go the rest of the way. And just the hips come down and the legs fold up, and they have strong tabs that lock them together so that they don't accidentally untab when you're articulating the robot. So that's good. And then we can untab. Remember, these two things here are actually kind of tabbed into each other. And we can spread the legs out a little bit so we have some clearance. So, I'm sorry, I feel like the camera's way too close, so I'm just going to try to pull it back a little bit. I don't know how it ended up like that. It's on like a elastic stalk, so it's hard to move. I keep ending up too close to the camera for anything. Okay. So then for maximum clearance of the legs, obviously it doesn't matter too much. You can just kind of wing it. But what I discovered is the best way to do this is to have that out, not sled up yet. And I like to bring the legs down 2 notches. And then there is 100% clearance for this to rotate around. It can just do whatever it wants to if you get it like that. But once we have it around, we pull the feet out. And then this folds up, rotates around, and then goes here and kind of slides back over into that position. I'm really not sure what their deal is with this. There's this extra bit of articulation, so I used it for robot mode, but it's not for either of the vehicle modes, so whatever. All right, and then this, I like to fold this up temporarily like that. like this, so it has the most clearance possible. And then we can fold this leg to cover all that up. And there's a slider, and for some reason the slider on one side, it would be the other side. I guess I'll compare and contrast them. The sliders are different for some reason. Let's just let's get this leg moving along. All right, just so we can talk about the two sliders. I just found it odd that the sliders are actually asymmetrical. So this slider, when it's unlocked, it slides all the way over. You can see it's very close to that screw there, all the way over. But for some reason on this side, this slider only goes about halfway. I mean, it still clears. The little pin that the slider engages doesn't stick out or anything. And on this side, it sticks way inside. But for some unknown reason, this slider only goes about halfway. Anyway, so you lock the slider in to lock the joint in, and then we can fold this up, and it helps to fold this first, and then fold this up. And then, like I said, I didn't know what to do with this. It can kind of break the sculpt, but it kind of, I don't know, makes the leg less thick towards the knee, creates like a gradation. So in my book, that's where that goes, because it's the only place you get to use that joint. There's no point to it otherwise. I don't know. We open up the feet. We flip out the toes. And now we're done with the legs. When I shot it, I had to kind of balance it so that it was tilted backwards, because all these joints are very loose. So I had to kind of lean it backwards so it would kind of stay where I wanted it to be. We'll move a little closer to the camera so you can see the top half of this guy. So, like I said, when you go to robot mode, you got to come down to the last little notch for those. And then the head, you flip this out of the way. You got to grab this joint, which is kind of sticky. And then there's another joint here. So there's one here, there's one here, and then of course the head's on a ball. There's the green plastic on the head seems to rub off, like the color kind of rubs off on the ball. So at first I was like, is this ball stress marked? Holy crap, you know. But if you get in there and I don't have anything to wipe it off with here, I guess. But it gets rid of the markings if you wipe it off. So for whatever reason, the green from the plastic kind of rubs off on that ball. Anyway, so you want to pull on this joint, and going back into vehicle mode, you're getting it into this position where it's folded, and then you're folding this joint last to kind of get the head tucked into the grill there, and then this just kind of covers up the face a little bit. So when you pull it out, you just have to make sure you pull this joint first, and then you can pull the head out. And I just kind of position it, you know, there-ish. Doesn't matter. And then we can pop open these covers and move them out of the way. See if there's any comments. You're not supposed to say the R word, Lila. I'm sorry. They took that one out. Masterpiece level triple changes are a difficult thing, but this pulls it off for fun. Yeah, this is a lot of fun. This is like the most fun I had with any of the springers. This is a very clean transformation. It's not... It has its imperfections, especially the vehicle modes are a little bit derpy, but the robot mode is great, and it ends up with a clean back unlike all three of the other ones I've handled. Who has the full studio? I don't think anyone has the full studio. The final piece hasn't been released yet, as far as I know. So anyway, we get these out of the way, and then we get the canopy bit pulled back out of the way. Just out of the way, no big deal. And we're just trying to aim this into here. And the thing is, this thing will get caught if you don't release these and have them loose. So otherwise this thing doesn't like to fold up properly if you don't have these loose first. But now we can fold it. And so it's one fold here. You can see, just make sure the head clears there. And then when we fold in the other part, those go into that slot, and this tabs in. And now that it's folded, you can put these into position where they're supposed to be to kind of hold it together. And then you can kind of bring the head the rest of the way up and get it ready. I like to tilt it down because we want to have a little space so that we can fold this over. In all the other versions of this, the canopy is just hanging out. And this one hides the canopy inside the torso, which is really nice. Look how clean the back is. Very nicely done on their part. I think this is like the best robot mode, other than the face being a little derpy. But it's not as bad as Big Spring. People are like, "Oh, Big Spring's better," and I'm like, Big Spring has a really derpy face, so I don't like Big Spring that much. But it's the only one I actually own, which is ironic. So we rotate these up, and it's just arm stuff, you know. We're gonna flip down this panel and flip up this panel and push the hand around, and then put the panels back. And then the hand generally wants to be there. So we'll do the same thing over on the other side. Flip this up and flip this down. And you just want the back of the hand to appear at the top here. That's the orientation. So you want his fist up when you get ready to put it away, but otherwise it turns into its natural position for robot mode. And then he comes packaged, and I'm going to have to put him back in his packaging mode. But he comes packaged with his things like that. Like that. But I'm pretty sure like the proper way to do this is you kind of rotate it around and hook it around the front. And then this can kind of fold around the back. It does mean it's not quite finished from the top. But you don't see robots from the top very much, so I don't know. They get away with it, I think. And then this. And there you go. Such as it is, robot mode. I think he's a pretty good looking Springer though, and he's really got really good articulation, especially the ankles. They rotate forward, they rotate a little bit backwards, and they have a good, you know, for different stances, they've got a good inward fold. So I really like his ankles, you know, like Fans Toys really compromises their own ankles because they're just trying to do so much pointless, irritating transformation on the lower side. They could have cleaned up where his wheels appear in robot mode a little better, but you know, they hit it on the inside of his legs, so it's not too bad. But I like it. It's a good Springer, and I really appreciate Max Mox loaning him to me. It's very brave of him. I say it in comment sections. I'll go to like Facebook comment sections, and someone will be like, "Oh, I'm having trouble with this robot," and I'm like, "You loan it to me, and I'll do a video on it." And people laugh at me. I get the laugh react, like, "Ah!" But like, you know, if you have robots you play with and not just display, because by God, you know, don't send me a display robot. The reason the sliders are at different heights is so the tail boom can connect without the two. Oh, yeah, because the two tabs would run into each other. Smart. Thank you, Max. That's a good point. You are right. He comes with a few accessories. I'm just going to leave it in the box, but he comes with that missile that, for some reason, in a transforming Autobot city, they have to load by hand. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Just realized Max sent me a little something to cover return shipping. It's too nice of you. I don't necessarily need that, but for the sake of your family honor, I will accept it. Thank you, sir. So we're going to get this guy, and like I said, we're doing an unusual thing today. We're doing a boxing. It's a boxing video. So we're going to put him into transportation mode. We're going to put him in his box. He doesn't want to sit in there properly. So I'm going to have to think about it for a second. There we go. Put him in his box. The great boxing. Now why is he being obtuse? Those go there. I guess this is right. Maybe I shouldn't have tried to do that live on stage. I'm just going to sit back for a second and get them boxed properly. Does this actually close up if I put it in? Yeah, I suppose it does. No, it doesn't. Well, I'm missing something about how he gets boxed. What am I missing? What is wrong? Something about his legs doesn't fit. RL Carmack said, do you like the Siege War for Cybertron sideswipe? I mean, yeah, I mean, Siege Cybertron is fine. It's perfectly good sideswipe, I reckon. Do the feet fold up to go in the box? No, I don't think so. No, they definitely are. Well, that's frustrating. I'm doing something wrong. Well, the problem, Max, if you want to weigh in, since you packaged them earlier, is the feet don't seem to... I'm going to leave this out until we're all done. The feet don't seem to want to go into the insert all the way. I don't know what I'm missing. I don't know what it's hanging up on. So the feet are sticking up too far. What have I done? I mean, if I put his toes away, that would help the other part cover it. I feel like when I cover it, it's not... Yeah, that's low enough at this point. So I guess it was his toes getting in the way. So we'll put in this. I should really... He has like a little adapter here. We're getting there. We're getting there, kids, because there's more stuff to discuss. But there's an adapter that you can put in to store his sword on his back. And the packaging actually leaves room for that. There we go. And then the gun goes in here. And the clamshell goes on top. There we go. And then we close up the package. There we go. And now I guess I need a piece of tape. So I'll take care of the rest of that and get it shipped out to you tomorrow, Max. Again, super buku appreciation for you loaning this to me. It's very brave of you. Can you imagine? Yes. I'm not going to fall for that. If someone said they were having trouble transforming a statue, I dare say I would tell them, that's a statue. I don't know if I reported to you guys last week, but I did manage to get this fixed. I'm really looking forward to this guy. I got other things I got to shoot first, but this is super fun and clever. And it actually tabs and fits together pretty well. The front end of the plane ends up distorted because of my repair. So I'm still waiting to see if I get any word back on a replacement. Just got this guy in this week. He's kind of cool. He turns into a bull, a mechanical bull. We're not going to get too far into him because we'll discuss him more when we actually do a stop motion of him. But that's pretty cool. Turns into a bull. Of course, I still have a Vila Star waiting in the wings for a slow day. And I did get a package today, and boy, oh boy, is this thing bigger than I expected it to be. So I'm almost half wondering if the wrong thing is in this. But would you look at this thing? One second, coming in. Look how big that package is. It's huge. And it's very heavy. Much heavier than I expected it to be. And now is your opportunity, before I start opening it, to guess what's in the box. Maybe you have a feel for the sorts of things that I collect anyway, and the sorts of things I like to shoot videos of. Maybe one of you has received this thing, and you know how big this crazy thing is. But it's a little surprising to me that it's this big. So I'm a little curious, like, what if they sent me the wrong thing, and they just sent me some other big thing? And the weight of it surprised me too. So I'm going to move this into my lap to get all the packaging wrapped off of it. You guys can talk amongst yourselves. I'll give you this guy to look at while we're unpacking. There he is. Generation Toy something or other. Stay. All right. Right? You would think this was Planet X Apocalypse based on the size, but it's not. All right, we got the corner protectors. That's nice. Thank you, Show Z Store, for doing such a fine job packaging this thing for international. Quite a challenge. Had to pay extra for shipping because shipping's all effed up from China these days. Usually their shipping is free, but they're having a lot of trouble shipping things that are over 2 kilograms. And this thing, surprisingly, like I said, is way heavier than I was expecting. So now we have the inner box. Give you a little glimpse of that. There's an inner box. That's fun. So let's open the inner box. Find out if what I think is in here. And then maybe find out why the damn thing is so heavy. Yeah, this is what I thought it was. Surprisingly heavy. Corner tabs are actually in the way. Opening this box is turning into a destructive process. Such a big box for this. How big is this thing? I've really gotten the wrong idea how big this thing was. I thought it was standard like MPM scale, but maybe it's much bigger than that. All right, I'm gonna get the inner plastic off this before I get into it. So that's tape. Ouch. All right. I mean, they do a really good job of making sure that if you're one of those people that cares about the condition of the box, this thing came all the way to China without any damage to the box, so that's nice. Let's get this guy out of the way. So the answer to our question is, it's this guy. Toy World's it still keeps throwing me off. I'm like, why is this box so big and heavy? It's nuts. Doesn't quite make sense to me. But we'll open it up and see if there's an answer to that question. He's just really big. He might be bigger than MPM scale. He's just big. He must come with some sort of accessory that makes it heavier. Here's the instructions. Good Lord, it comes with a power adapter. What in the world is going on here? It does transform, so I didn't accidentally buy a statue or anything. Ooh, I'm just gonna let that drop. Alright, we have the inner clamshell. This seems to be the heavy part, so we'll see what that's all about in a minute. Phew. And then there's the outer clamshell. This is hard to do on camera, I'll have to tell you. Especially with other shit in the way. Thank you, Megatron. You got in the way real good, buddy. Good job. There's tape. Tape, 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 tape. Okay. So many accessories. It's got a big gun. I'm gonna stand up for this. Comes with an assortment of guns. There's another gun. There's a covering here. I don't suppose I need that ever again. For some reason it's got various pleats. Maybe that's supposed to be permanently part of them, but they couldn't fit them in the box with the... I don't know. Here's a hand that's molded into the shape of a gun-carrying hand. That's nice. You don't see many hands done like that on large figures, but... It feels like he's missing a hand right now. So that's fun. Wish I could get something that didn't have a break or a missing piece or some shit. No, the hand just fell down inside. Okay. Okay. Let's see. This is supposed to be here. Good Lord, what a thing. It's way more die-cast than I was expecting, so it's a very die-casty figure. Get rid of this. Put his hand on, hopefully. I heard people talking about how almost idiotically small the ball pin for his hand is. Tiny. The hand's going to clip onto that. Oddly tiny ball hand. Crazy big figure though, man. I was not expecting it to be this big. It's heavy duty die cast in this thing. Be gone, clamshell. Alright. So let's see if we can stand him up. He's handsome, man, I tell you what. This is the Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime for sure. Look at that guy. Some light on the top. He's huge. I feel like he's out of scale for MPM. He's really tall. Interesting. Of course, he's got all these parts and stuff. And then there's the other box that has additional accessories, so we'll see what those are about. Yeah, the transformation looks like it's got a lot of weird little clearance issues, so hopefully I'll find a nice clean way to transform them and demonstrate the transformation. Yeah, I don't know. The hand joint is small, but, you know, it looks like it would hold. It's just strange that it's so small. But he's got pretty articulated hands. Although, I mean, it could be hard to get an articulated hands to really do like a gun pose. And so I think it's nice that they include, you know, hands that are just fixed gun hands, and they're more of a rubbery plastic. So he can really hold his guns properly by switching out his hands. Probably part of the reason they made the ball joint for the hand a little smaller, so that it's easier to switch them. But you can get a nice, good hand pose around the gun, which is nice. Presumably there's a slot. No, these hands actually don't have a slot. That's funny. Okay. I mean, they put a tab on the gun right there, but then they didn't put a slot in the pre-shaped hands. It's an interesting choice. Look at this gun. It's ridiculous. It's got a tripod. I'd have to see if he can actually like lay down and use this gun like a sniper. But remember this in the movie? They didn't really show any of this in the movie. It's amazing that he comes with like a power adapter. I'm slightly confused by that. All right, so let's see what other accessories are in this other sub clamshell. If this is not interesting, you people should tell me, because you're the ones watching it, and maybe it's possible that people are like, I'm not going to watch you take something out of a box. That's stupid. So it comes with some additional plates for some reason. Did I show them? Here. I don't know what the deal is with that. I suppose I'll find out. It comes with, for some reason, additional tires. Maybe they have a different sort of weathering on them. I don't know. But there's 6 of them. Comes with an additional head. Maybe it's a slightly different head sculpt. I don't know. Comes with like a crazy shield thing that looks like it transforms a little bit. So all right with that. Jeez. comes with this for some reason. Not sure what that's for. It seems kind of small for him to stand on, you know. There's additional ones. Your guess is as good as mine. In fact, there's a whole stack of them, so maybe they all clip together to make a display base big enough for him to actually stand on. So there's additional ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is it 5? No, there's one more. That would make more sense if they all link together. How do you get 5? So there's 6 of them. So I guess you build your own display base. That's fun. Seems a lot more extravagant than I thought. Here's more display base. Good lord. That's a long one. Here's a medium one. There are a bunch of these. So I guess there's some sort of explanation of how these all... God. Smaller ones. Another larger one. So there are a bunch of little display base pieces, for what it's worth. Whatever that's for. Now this shell is empty. But I've got the bowl and I've got this little Megatron worked out if this guy proves to be more of a challenge. But I do have a few days now to... There's like ants. I have ants in my office for some reason. I have a few days to sort him out, so hopefully I can do him this weekend, but we'll see if he turns out to be more of a challenge than anticipated. For some reason, these plastic liners are like inserted into this thing. That's annoying. All right. Don't want to scratch his windshields. They're not scratched from the factory. Now it's your fucking problem. Sorry, I didn't mean to curse. You have to bleep that out or something. I don't know. Now this one won't come off. Maybe I need to take a look. I'll take a closer look. And it won't come off. There it is. There it is. I don't need no freaking plastic covers. You ever been at a friend's house and they got a VCR and the little plastic film that's over like the time readout? Of course, you people are going to be like, "What's a VCR?" You ever see people that leave those little plastic film covers on things? Whew. Boy. Yeah, don't spam too much in chat. I don't care how old you are. Just try to keep it pithy. Try to keep it on topic. Sure. Oh, you mean these panels? Maybe. Maybe so. Oh, I see. So does he have the Cybertronian tires on currently? Oh, I see he does. All right, cool. Well, that's why the tires. Name for comments to leave them. I want Knight Orion to be released. Yeah, I'm not familiar with Knight Orion. Well, that's all the things I have to discuss. Got to learn how to transform this guy. Surprisingly, he comes with a power adapter. I don't know what the story is with that. It's nice they include batteries. You don't see that very often. Batteries included. And of course the power adapter, which is like, what? Why is there a power adapter? But there is. It's a USB power adapter with a, looks like a USB type B, like the same thing I use for my cell phone. Crap, now you know I have an older Samsung. It comes with thingamajigs. Looks like windshield wipers. So they're in a separate bag, so you won't lose them, at least until you put them on and then immediately lose them. Here's a Toy World card that is illegible until I get my Google Translate app out. And there are I guess it's how to register your figure. And good God, Toy World, this is it for the instructions. They're like, you just needed 1 page of instructions. So this guy's prime candidate for doing a video on, since they don't include proper instructions. And I suppose somewhere along the way I'm going to figure out where this USB thing plugs in. Total mystery. If anyone's heard about it, you can mention it in the comments. Why the hell does he have a USB adapter? Pretty weird. Tactics Waistcoat. Is that the name of them? What a weird name. Take the protective cover off. But he has a power adapter. They really wanted him to be put on display somehow. So I guess the power adapter is so he can be constantly powered instead of relying on batteries. I assume it plugs into his head or something. Does this head? This head is different. Let's see how this one changes. But the instructions don't include any mention of like what the power adapter is for or where it plugs in. I don't see where it plugs in. Hopefully someone smarter than me did a video on where it plugs in. It's got a nice finish. I mean, it's all metallic. There seems to be a lot of die cast. It's super heavy. Hopefully the joints are good so he can hold his poses while he's in mid-transformation. Am I going to break something else on screen? Looks like there's the right kind of articulation here and there. I don't know if the feet go forward or backwards or not. We'll have to see. They do rotate, but that might just be part of the transformation. The one complaint I had about this figure was that they don't do much with his feet. Like, his feet are really apparent in vehicle mode. But there were enough other things that I liked about it, and it looked complicated, so it seemed like the kind of thing I wanted to do. That's funny. Well, yeah, no, I'm just trying not to. I'm trying not to have cussing because it's just unnecessary for the type of video. Okay. Oh, Toy World's take. Yeah, well, I'm already satisfied with Unique Toys Challenger, so I don't think I need another one of those. Transformer for a Transformer. I see what you did. That's funny. That's what I'm thinking, Nine, is that he can be displayed with his eyes permanently on. I just don't see where it plugs in right now, but I'll have to look at him closer. See if there's a panel that comes off that exposes the USB adapter. It has a lot of detail, yeah. It's really nicely done. It's handsome. Of course, the jury's still out on whether or not it's tolerable to transform. I've seen people transform it, but I didn't pay much attention to the details because I don't have it in hand, so it doesn't really help me much at that point. But it looked like there were some clearance issues. It looked like there's shit you have to get past other stuff. What I laughed about was that someone said, name for comments, said instructions, shake vigorously until truck forms, which is funny. All you got to do is shake them like 50 times, yeah. Yeah, because Toy World was doing that Build-A-Figure for World War I Starscream, which I want more than any of the other like World War I or World War 1/2 vehicles that they've made so far. I would want that Starscream. I would pay separately for that Starscream, and for some reason they want to do a Build-A-Figure with it. So I've got 2 pieces, but they haven't even released the figures that have the other pieces yet, so who knows. I hope they just come to their senses and release just straight out, like, here's a World War I Starscream. Buy it. I would totally just buy it straight out. I don't want to do, like, a Build-A-Figure. Yeah, because they knew I had a Samsung, sure. Well, folks, you're welcome to make your final comments and whatnot. I'm going to kill that ant, and then I'm going to kill that ant. There we go. Now they're both dead. Fucking, you're still going to crawl? It's amazing, because you are broken now, sir. No, you're not making it back to the colony, buddy. You're not going to report to your superiors. I got to put down an ant trap. Frickin' ants. And I'm the kind of guy that if I see a spider, I'll either leave it alone or capture it and take it outside, because I don't like squishing spiders. But ants are a different thing. Ants are dirt with legs, and I don't care for them. I don't treat them nicely. Yeah, this is not MPM scale. This is like some sort of premier, you know. I mean, he's as tall as, he might even be taller than Ultra Maximus. He's cool looking, though. It's a good design for the movie people. And it's cool that they were able to reproduce him in something that transforms, maybe. We'll see how well it transforms. I guess that flips up for some reason. Yeah. He's pretty tight. You never really see the robot mode on Earth. You just see him as a truck. And you don't see a truck mode on Cybertron. You just see him as a robot. So it's very confusing. I don't live in Arizona, but yeah, we got... Every year we have to kind of deal with ants. We have to track down their little colonies and murder them. No, ant, you can't keep crawling after I smush you. That's not acceptable. Stupid fucking ants. Yeah, all these panels, I really don't know. They don't include instructions for how to put them together, so it's a bit of a mystery. I think these probably form some kind of box. Yeah. These appear to be some kind of box for like storing his weapons or something. That's D4 for what it's worth. Ah, it goes on this side. They've tabbed it so you can't get it wrong. That's nice. I guess that's right. But I don't think it's time for that one yet. Yeah, and they're the sides. Oh yeah, it's a box. It's a box. It's a box. But they tabbed each thing separately so you can't get it wrong. That's kind of clever. I guess that's why they didn't include instructions, because they're like, you can't get this wrong. We made it perfect. See? Only this one can tab in there. Because another one, for example, this one, it's backwards. And this is like a straight tab. So you can see how it won't go together unless you get the right order. So that tab's in there, maybe. Maybe I got it right. There we go. We're on our way. We're making a box now. Welcome to Peerless Drew's channel. Today I'm going to make a box. Alright, so I was using this as a clue. This is... This is this end. Yep, that lines up. And then this one is that. Okay, so this one goes in here. And then finally, this one should only be able to go one way. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Put this one in here, this one in here. It's like a puzzle. They've given me a puzzle. How nice of them. And then we'll put the top on the box, or the bottom on the box. One of the two. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, yeah. There we go. So that's one part of the box. They left a little notch here, so that's where you can lift up the top flap of the box. So that's handy. Handy. And then the bottom of the box, I just knocked Sideswipe over. I'm sorry, Sideswipe. Seriously, Sideswipe? You lost your little... Good lord. He's got little pads in his feet, and one of them fell out for no good reason. He was manhandled too much. He was like, I quit. So this is presumably the bottom of the box. And it goes on this way. There we go. Now we have a box, presumably for his armory. So we'll take the top off the box. I don't know if this big gun fits in there. Does the big gun... Oh, the big gun has wires. So it has batteries of some sort. Is there a trigger somewhere? I see wires in there. You see them? Red and black. There's wires. So it's got some kind of LED. It's got a battery compartment and a switch somewhere. God forbid they tell you that in the instructions anywhere. Oh, there's a button. Oh, it's already got batteries in it. Hear that? Here. Ooh, when it lights up, look at this. All right. Preloaded batteries. Who doesn't like that? But I don't think this big gun folds up. I don't think it'll fit in the box. But I can take his smaller guns, and I can put them right here in the box. In fact, I can put all his accessories in the box. Oh, this is appealing to me more and more. It's always nice to have some place to put all the accessories. Put all the accessories in the box. Except for the big gun, because it won't fit. Maybe. Who knows? I'm going to put the windshield wipers in the box for now. Those will just come out on shoot day. And there's batteries. So I'll put those in the box. And I really don't think this thing's going to fit in the box. I don't know what it does. It comes apart, that's for sure. Maybe they transform into individual axes or something? I'm sure someone took pictures of it. Let's see, this rotates around like this, and this like this. So maybe it's like an axe. I don't know. It's something. It is something. This is like, yeah, I mean, this one rotates the same way, so it's just a different axe. It doesn't like the... Doesn't quite fit. There you go. So that's nice. I don't think the axes, maybe if you take them apart, you can kind of fit them. Yeah, they'll fit in the box. Nice big box. There you go. You can stuff all kinds of parts in it because he comes with so many parts. And then the top of the box is keyed for no particularly good reason. You have to have the top of the box keyed. There's all his accessories put away in a box. It's nice. Reading comments, talking while I read the comments. Yeah, it's like a space truck trailer. You can fit a lot of the accessories in, just not the big gun. The big gun does not fit. I'm sorry, Nine. I got it first. Now you can't have it. So, what is this? Is this another box? There are certainly enough little pieces here. I guess there are two boxes going on here. Yeah, it's not a something for him to stand on. It's like two separate boxes. I think this is the top and this is the bottom, so where is this? Because it's a long and two shorts. It's not on the side. It's got to be one of these sides. No? Shit, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing here. What the hell? I'm totally confused. A long and two shorts. Huh. No. I don't feel like that's right. It's another puzzle. But there's 6 pieces, and that would... Let me do the math. That would make a box. So it is another box. That's interesting. It's got these arrows on it. Maybe the arrows help. Okay. Yeah. That's where one of them goes. And that means one of these ones that kind of curves around the outside. Nope, that's not it. This is it. Yep. All right. Look out, everyone! It's gonna go to 100,000 subs on the basis of this box building exercise. Everyone, get in here! Peerless Drew's building boxes. Look out! It will be amazing. So this is either this way. I don't think so. Or this way. I think so. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm building boxes, you ladies and gentlemen. This is a nice deep box for some purpose. There we go. I feel like there's going to be some craggle in the future for these boxes. Going to have to get some craggle. That looks like it lines up. Craggle. I don't want these boxes coming apart, man. There we go. There's a box. Now I just got to figure out which lid goes on which side. No. Maybe. Yes. Maybe not. Doesn't look like it's fitting. Alright, well, maybe it's the other one. Let's try the other one, ladies and gentlemen. No, because that one has one in the middle, which makes it this one. Alright. And then this goes on one way or the other. Let's find out. Let's get the two arrows and the one arrow. Yeah, so it goes on this way. There we go. So you can build two boxes out of these plates. For some reason. Two boxes. Pretty sure even at an angle, this box still isn't big enough to put this gun into. So the gun doesn't fit in the box, but all the other stuff fits in the box. Maybe I'll have one box for one kind of accessory and one box for the other kind of accessory. Maybe you can do like a fancy hero pose by stepping up on one of the boxes. I don't know. You wish you had a masterpiece figure? I mean, you're 12. You could save up. You could mow some lawns or something. You can mow some lawns and save up your money. Get yourself a masterpiece figure. Never say never. You'll eventually afford one. Well, I was just thinking, you know, crazy glue. Make sure these boxes don't ever fall apart again. There's an ant on me. No, don't run away, ant. You called down the thunder. Saying, okay. It's true, 9. That's a good point. When I was coming up, when I was just a wee lad like RL Comic Art, I didn't dream of anything like the internet or live streaming or any of that crap. I came up in a world where if you wanted to read a book, you had to actually just read a book. Now these days I just listen to Audible. It's a crazy world. Everyone thought we were going to have flying cars and we ended up with supercomputers in our pockets. It's a fair enough trade. Anyway, so we are at the 1 hour plus mark. I've run out of things to talk about. It's about time for Din Din. So I'm going to be heading out, folks. Give you maybe a 1 minute pause in case anyone has something particularly pithy or important to say to me. And then we're gonna sign off. I appreciate everyone dropping by. It was fun. Appreciate Max Mox. Awesome that you loaned me that figure. I'll get it right back to you. Go by the post office tomorrow and get it mailed. That'll be my lunch break. Effing around at the post office. Do they have an indoors now? Can I go inside the post office? I haven't tried. Anyway, I'll sort it out. Maybe I'll just go to the UPS store. They're a little more polite. That's it. I appreciate everyone dropping by. Appreciate Max Mox loaning me a figure. Look for this guy maybe this weekend if he's not too onerous to figure out a clean transformation for him. He certainly has a nice tiny, tiny, tiny instruction manual. And everyone have a good day, a good evening, a good weekend. And look for a video of some sort on Sunday. And then we'll discuss that thing on Wednesday. Although I'm on call next week, so maybe I get interrupted on that Wednesday. Who can say? But I've been trying to do my on-calls even. Ant? Really got to get an ant bait in here. Stupid ants. Bye-bye.